You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Are you a film fan who loves the ultimate home video experience? Look no further than The Disconnected. Your host, Ryan Verrill, is your go-to source for the latest and most accurate information on home video releases, exclusive interviews with industry insiders and filmmakers, and has established a thriving community where every film and physical media enthusiast feels welcome. From hidden gems to blockbuster hits, The Disconnected brings you insider knowledge and a welcoming space to share your love of cinema. Watch every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific for the live announcements show and follow The Disconnected on social media to stay updated. Subscribe to The Disconnected on YouTube or on the podcast provider of your choice and dive into a world where every movie night is an adventure.
The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Frightmares Podcast. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today for episode 381 is my good friend, Cory Johnson.
Heyo, everybody. That's not an airplane.
Oh, man, I have plenty of thoughts on Seth. Today on the last installment of Maylien Invasion, we're discussing our wild card pick, Extraterrestrial, from 2014, a movie where the most annoying person should be called Kyle, but for some reason our main actor is instead. Let's see where this lands on the Nightmare Index. All right, Cory, so in the past week or so, what have you watched? I have nothing from the corrections department this week, although they might be slacking.
How long has it been since, we've actually done an episode? Because I can't remember if some of these movies I talked about on the last time we recorded or not.
Well, let's see. The last episode we did... Ooh, Jesus Christ, has it been that long? My God.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Renfield, about April 17th, so it's been over a month. Holy shit. Yeah.
Okay, so then I've seen a few things, actually. I have seen both Oddity and Hokum, which I know you and I have texted about ad nauseum at this point.
Yes.
Both of them scoring 4.5 out of 5s for me. So that's solid ratings. I enjoyed both of them tremendously. I saw Shelby Oaks.
Oh, first time?
First time. Gave
Nice.
it a 3 out of 5. It was a fun time.
Very nice.
It was what it was, you know. And then I've also been watching a bunch of Apple TV stuff. So Jessica and I finally finished out Ted Lasso.
Nice, okay.
Because we're way late to the game, but it was fantastic. And then I watched an Apple TV produced movie called The Greatest Beer Run Ever.
All right.
With Zac Efron. It's based on a true story of this guy from New York that is a merchant mariner, and he decides during the Vietnam War to take beers to all of his neighborhood friends who are in Vietnam.
Okay.
And the movie is him just kind of bullshitting his way into Vietnam, and then it's a whole Vietnam War movie. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. Ooh.
Type shit.
Yeah, I also gave that movie a 3 out of 5. Zac Efron is peak his comedy.
Okay.
He's a pretty fucking comedic actor, honestly.
I mean, I really enjoyed him in one of the worst movies of this fucking decade, the Firestarter remake. He was great in that. Probably the only good thing about that movie. So he's come a long way from his High School Musical days, for sure.
And did you ever see Iron Claw?
I did see Iron Claw. He was fantastic in that. So good. So, all right, yeah. Did you recommend Widow's Bay to me? Were you one of the 15?
No.
Okay, I thought you were gonna.
That was not me.
Okay, because I thought you were about to recommend it, and I was like, all right, I have to watch it now because within the past week, 4 separate people have mentioned it, and I'm like, all right, I'll get on Widow's Bay. But I also haven't seen any Apple originals, so I feel like I should start somewhere like with Severance or something, but I don't know.
So I would recommend, I started with a show called Shrinking, and it's
isn't that Ben Stiller, right? Yeah? No,
it's Jason Segel, Harrison Ford. I can't remember the girl's name, but she's fucking hilarious. It's kind of a stacked. Once you realize who everybody is, you're like, oh, it's like a show of character actors.
Okay.
Except for Harrison Ford, obviously.
He's just being Harrison Ford.
Well, it's a show about therapists.
Oh, that's right. I remember you briefly mentioning.
It's really good. So you got that one, and then we just watched Ted Lasso. They're coming out with the 4th season of that soon, but there's 3 seasons of that show, and they're amazing. They're like 39 minutes long.
Okay.
39 to 59.
Jason Sudeikis, right?
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis, which, like, I knew he was a good actor, but man.
Yeah.
He's got some chops in Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Like, there was one scene that happened, like, he's doing this, like, really heartfelt, emotional monologue, and I look over at Jessica, and she looks over at me, and we're both, like, weepy-eyed, and we're like, what the fuck is this?
Who is this guy? This is
not what I signed up for.
Don't make me feel. Okay. Anything else in the oeuvre, if that's even the right word? I'm just pulling words out of my ass.
No, that's about it.
Okay. Let me go to the old letterbox here and see what I've been watching. This is the bonus episode, so there hasn't been much time in between the last recording and this. But let's see. Obviously, I watched Obsession. I'm going to just mention that again. I'm obsessed with that movie. It's so good. I watched Dark Skies, one of the most criminally underrated alien abduction movies. I really wish I would have done this as the deep cut. No offense to Puppet Masters, but Dark Skies is fucking incredible. I was supposed to... Oh my God, Passenger has been a nightmare. I was supposed to go see Passenger like 13 different times. I'm going to see it today, finally, because I'm excited about that one. Hopefully it's not as much of a disappointment as Corporate Retreat. The ratings aren't great, but...
I'm hyped for that movie.
I'm hyped for it, too, because they actually involve... Gabby noticed this in the trailer, but there's a little, like, not statue, but something hanging from the mirror that's like this patron saint of safe traveling, and that's actually brought into the movie, and I'm like, ooh, that's really cool. I love shit like that.
It's funny, I was actually talking to Kyle about this like 2 nights ago. we were talking about new stuff coming out because he had asked me if I had seen Hokum, and I was like, man, Passengers. And he was like, yeah, no, it seems really cool. And I was like, man, they had me sold because they do in the trailer one of my absolute favorite tropes in horror ever, where it's like you're running away from or you're driving away from something hooky spooky and you like turn the corner or you run through the door and you think you're about to be safe and you're right back to where you fucking started. And it's like, yes, yes. And that's the trailer. That means they're going to do that like 57 more times through the movie. And I like, if it is just a movie of that, I'm going to be so happy.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. I love in movies when you're in a never-ending loop, and it just seems to be he's in this loop of not being able to pass this guy, and then boom, he's in the passenger seat. So I'm, and I love a good jump scare movie as long as they're done right. There's nothing wrong with jump scares. I feel like people are so down on jump scares, but I genuinely, not every horror movie, I like them here and there. A good example, Hokum honestly had a lot of jump scares, but they were so well crafted and so creepy that I'm like, yeah, this is what I like.
The thing with Hokum is they telegraphed the jump scare so much that they said, they were like, hey, in the next 40 seconds, you're going to get jump scared. And then you get jump scared and you're like, you got me. Because they were never it was never ooh, that's fucking scary. It was music based jump scares. If you didn't have that giant swell stab, with whatever they're showing you on camera, it wouldn't have been a jump scare. It just would have been something shocking to see.
Yeah, there was one, I say unjump scare because at one point Adam Scott's character goes from one room to the next, and then all of a sudden someone's just behind him, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
that was great. But so I'm excited for Passenger tonight. And I think that's all I've recently watched. I was supposed to watch the Cult Movie Challenge. That didn't happen this week. This was my week off, too, or last week, because now it's the day after Memorial Day. Last week was my week off, and I did, it was jam-packed, full of shit. So I didn't even get to half the stuff that I wanted to. But yeah, I think that's all I've watched. So I'll talk about The Oily Maniac at some point for Shaw Brothers Week. Probably next week. And then I also have a screener for Kraken that I'm going to check out and do a review on here today. But other than that, I think that's all I have. Oh, and then Backrooms comes out this weekend, which beyond hyped for. Gabby and I are going to go see the 10:45 a.m. showing. Our AMC actually has a new format. It's called XL, and it's it's a 40-foot tall or wide screen. So it's not IMAX or Dolby. It's just a massive screen. So we're going to go see Backrooms on the biggest screen at our theater.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, random update on Dust Bunnies, because it's been over a year since we've shot that film. I'm finally getting around to finishing up the editing. It is 10 minutes currently. The first 5 minutes are fully complete and done. I went to my dad's studio, got a whole bunch of sound effects and horror scores, because it's really all I need to do is just add in all the background, do some color grading, call it a day. So the plan is...
ADR is normally what takes editing the movie doesn't normally take that long. It's all the ADR and back-end stuff that makes the movie take so long.
I had all of the video done in a couple of days, and then the audio, I was like, fuck. So that... It is almost the beginning of June. I plan to have this finished by the end of June, and then in July we're going to start submitting it to film festivals. Gabby doesn't want to release it on YouTube just yet, which is fine. She's the director. So we're going to do some festival runs, see if it gets accepted, blah, blah, blah. And I'm currently in the middle of writing 2 separate scripts right now for feature-length films. One that is going to be a bigger movie that's going to involve a budget, and I actually might have funding for, due to a very good friend of mine who will remain nameless for now, and a director I know and love who, if he's interested, he might help as well. And then I have a smaller, much more budget-friendly feature length that I am about 10 pages into writing. So good stuff coming out here.
That's fucking sick.
I learned the hard way from Dust Bunnies, and now I know going into my next, my feature that this is going to be. Now I know what to do. But anyways, let's move on. Let's go to the body count. All right, so I couldn't remember if this was found footage or not, and while there are elements of POV, I think I'm confusing Extraterrestrial with Alien Abduction, because they're both from 2014, but this is Extraterrestrial from the year I just mentioned, 2014, released on October 17th of that year, straight to the internet. It did have a limited run in November of that year, but I did not realize this went straight to streaming. which seems weird because that's 12 years ago. I didn't really think things did that much outside of like Netflix originals, but nonetheless, this is not rated. We've got mild sex and nudity, moderate violence and gore, severe profanity, moderate alcohol, drugs, and smoking. I would say severe because Seth is constantly drinking, and moderate frightening and intense scenes. Coming in at 1 hour and 41 minutes, listed as an action, horror, mystery, sci-fi thriller. Directed by Colin Minahan. He is part of the Vicious Brothers with Stuart Ortiz. They also directed Grave Encounters. Colin directed It Stains the Sands Red and What Keeps You Alive. This is also written by Colin. He wrote everything I just mentioned. He also wrote Stillborn, Z, and Spiral, not the Saw Spiral. And then written by Stuart Ortiz. They wrote this as the Vicious Brothers. He also wrote Grave Encounters, which he also helped co-direct. It Stains the Sands Red and Strange Harvest. Composed by someone called Blitz, // Berlin. They also composed The Void, Psycho Gorman, and The Silent Night, Deadly Night from 2025. Cinematography by Sammy Inaye, who also did the cinematography for The Void. Edited by Colin Minahan. He edits pretty much everything he directs, and also Stuart Ortiz helped as well. He edited Grave Encounters and Strange Harvest. We have a wildly good, I'd say interesting cast in this. So you have Brittany Allen as April. You're probably going to know her from Jigsaw's Carly, but she also starred in
Or what Jessica knows her from, Supernatural.
Oh, yeah, okay, or that. I never watched that. She did also star in Colin's other films, It Stains the Sands Red and What Keeps You Alive. Then you have Freddie Stroma as Kyle. He was also in Harry Potter 6, 7, and 8 as Cormac McLagan. Melanie Papilla as Melanie, who was also in The Den as Elizabeth Benton. I mentioned that recently on the podcast. Killer POV-style horror movie. Jess Moth as Seth. He was also in Tucker and Dale versus Evil as Chad, which is a much more fitting name for his character in this movie. Anya Sav Kick as Lex, who hasn't done much, but she was in Ricky Stenicki as Susan. Gil Bellows as Sheriff Murphy. He was in The Shawshank Redemption as Tommy, and then Michael fucking Ironside popping up in this as Travis. You might know him from many things, but I know him most from Scanners as Daryl Revick. Estimated budget of only $3 million, which is quite impressive. Only got $122,000 at the box office because it went straight to streaming. Movie was filmed in BC, Canada. You can watch this on AMC Plus. Movies that came out around the same time. Sweet Christ, what a year or month. Interstellar, Gone Girl, John Wick, American Sniper, Fury, Big Hero 6, Annabelle, Dracula Untold, The Taking of Deborah Logan, Dumb and Dumber 2, the sequel everyone forgot about, Last Shift, Clown, Ouija, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, and The House is October Built. A lot of good horror, a lot of good just other shit. Right, heater. Some heaters in there. IMDb summary: a group of friends on a weekend trip to a cabin in the woods find themselves terrorized by alien visitors. Let's go into the autopsy. All right, Cory. Man, this was a movie. I've got some thoughts. I've got some feelings, but let's go to you. Overall thoughts. What do you got?
So this is my analogy that I said I've never.
Oh, you're gonna fuck me up with this right off the rip. Let's go.
Yeah, right off the rip.
Let's go.
So I am going to use baseball to explain this movie.
Okay.
Somehow, this movie has 2 strikes and 3 balls. It's bottom of the 9th. And goddamn it, somehow this movie still got on base because on that final pitch, the batter got hit. They got there, but due to no work of their own did they get there. It was my work and my enjoyment of the things that I enjoyed that got it there. Did they deserve it? Probably not. But it got there anyway.
10 out of 10, no notes. I'm not even going to give my overall thoughts because it's not going to come close to this movie. You will hear my thoughts as the review goes along. So typically, as I've been doing lately, I try to pick something, a theme, and start with that theme. But there's too much to say about this movie, so we're just going to get into it. I really, really liked the cold open. In fact, I think it is quite terrific because terrified young woman runs up to the gas station, frantic, in need of help. Something's clearly chasing her. We just don't know what. The employee is very uninterested. I love how he even flips off the open sign, basically saying, go fuck yourself. Runs outside, heads for a phone booth, which I didn't even know still existed in 2014. I didn't realize they were still around. And calls 911, pleading for help, and then boom, beam of light, she's gone. Not attacked, not dragged away, just vanished into this beam of light. So of course the employee walks outside and is like, oh, not only is the lady gone, but the phone booth is gone too. And then phone booth crashes to earth. I mean, what a way to tell your audience they're in for some fucking alien nonsense, in my opinion. But even before that, the movie had me utterly wheezing with the gas station, the display box that they had. So I was like, is this found footage? I can't remember. And it opens like in space with Earth and meteors and shit. And then the camera pulls out, pun intended, you'll get that in a minute, to an advertisement for condoms. It's a little display with a picture of space and a constellation in the form of a condom. And I was fucking wheezing. I don't know about you, but I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Jessica and I were watching it, and I was like, this is a weird visual.
Yeah, right. Wait.
Is it a dick? No, it's a condom. And then it zoomed out even more, and Jessica was like, now it just looks like a turd.
So, what did you feel about the cold open? With a name like Extraterrestrial, I don't feel like we needed a setup like that, but I did really enjoy it. I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
You and the listeners know me in the sense that almost always I enjoy a cold open.
Right.
I love it. I love it when it's well done, but even when it's like not well done, I'm like, still, thanks for the establishment.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Why not?
But this one, it was super cool. I really like that you get almost a double payoff in a sense, because you get the crazy strobing flashes, and then the entire phone booth and the woman are gone.
Yeah.
But then the phone booth falls back down. So you get the, ooh, it's gone. And then you get the scare, for lack of a better term, of the phone booth falling. And you're like, oh, shit. So they're just wanting with it. I really enjoyed that. And then they go into the rest of the story. And I'm like, all right, thank you for setting the tone of what I need to expect going forward with this one.
Yeah, 100% agree. And this movie, it falls into the category of just forgotten alien flicks, because typically when we're talking alien abduction, the conversation is usually maybe Fire in the Sky, Close Encounters, Fourth Kind might be thrown in there. Because when in terms of alien abduction movies where you see people get abducted, they're not done as much as, say, Alien Invasion, Alien Attack. But honestly, this one rarely gets mentioned alongside a couple other movies like Dark Skies. I mentioned that earlier. Alien Abduction, Communion, maybe Area 51, but that might be a little niche there. But I think this movie should get talked about more, because Beneath the Chaos is a movie, in my opinion, that understands exactly what makes alien horror scary. Not necessarily invasion or warfare, not destruction, but the act of being abducted, the idea that something is coming for you and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it except for April, but we'll get there. And I think that's what the movie taps into, the fear. It becomes genuinely effective for me when they're doing it properly, because there's a lot of pacing issues, which we'll get to. So,
oh yeah.
And I think the smartest thing this movie does before is make the setup feel believable before everything goes off the rails. I mean, the setup is, for a movie like this, can be done in a multitude of ways, but this one to me feels very real and grounded. April is heading to a cabin to take photos for her mother because they're selling this cabin, and the professional is too expensive and her mother's cheap. So she's not going there because they found a mysterious map and there's no demons. It's just, it feels real. It's the thing that would happen in a family. And then Kyle secretly invites some friends because he wants to turn a boring weekend into a getaway. Again, completely believable. And we spend enough time with these relationships that the characters feel like people we actually know, not necessarily horror archetypes waiting to die, outside of Seth, I would say. But it makes escalating the chaos easier to buy into. And I love, so they had a good cold open, good setup. What do we feel about the setup? Did it feel natural? Did it feel not too far-fetched? I mean, they're going out there to take photos of the house. And she has the camera, too. She does bring the camera.
Yes. The initial setup is totally fine.
Okay.
I have no problem with it.
Gotcha.
My first thing that I'm like, I feel like something got missed here.
Okay.
In the entire drive up, did you see the dog?
Fuck. I wasn't paying attention. No.
Where the fuck did Rusty come from?
I know there's a shot of them outside and the dog is there.
Yeah.
But I don't remember seeing.
But where did the dog come from?
Yeah. I don't remember seeing him in the car now. And I don't remember that at all. And fuck Seth for setting off fireworks and with a vehicle that has a dog in it. I fucking hate Seth.
Right. So Jessica bailed out once they killed the dog, which fair enough. Lost points for me for sure, because the dog disappears and I'm like, oh, he's gonna be safe. He fucked off, and then they show him dead, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Losing points immediately. Especially because it is an ethereal dog to begin with. This dog just appears. Or did they just, are the fucking parents just absolute terrible people? They get divorced and they're like, leave the dog here. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't know. So the dog doesn't work for you. That's completely, that's completely fine.
And there's something about the way the dialogue is written to me.
Oh, it's really rough.
I don't know if this was a show you watched when you were younger, but for my childhood, my show for a long time was Degrassi: The Next Generation.
I never got into that one, yeah.
And it's so Canadian. Like, it's the most Canadian. Like some of the characters, even like Suri, like a boot, like it's Canadian.
Okay.
And some of this dialogue felt like high school Degrassi dialogue. Like it was just a little blunted. Like even the heartfelt moments felt a little bit canned. Or like when April's talking about, like, I don't even know if I believe in marriage. It's like, it sounds like she's talking out the side of her mouth with that.
Yeah.
Like not until they're screaming about aliens does anybody really sound sincere about anything.
Right. And I actually have an entire section specifically about the dialogue that I would love to get into. And because it's not just Seth that I hate, they all fall victim to it. But before we dive into that, I wanted to, because the movie, I mean, it gets going pretty quickly. It's for an hour and 41 minutes, it's good and bad. But I think that UFO reveal is one of the coolest things, because typically in alien movies, yes, we get a lot of shit crash landing to Earth, but seeing the actual UFO as the thing that crashed is very rare. And they went with the classic. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel here. They used one that has existed in culture for decades, the traditional silver flying disc, the thing that, you see in the blurry photographs. And to me, there's something so refreshing about using just a saucer. Like, it was so simple. And the CG honestly looked pretty fucking solid for being 12 years old on a $3 million budget.
It looked amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not alone in that. Okay.
No. Here's what killed it.
What's that?
And now this may be Cory has too much niche information floating around in his brain. So this may be a me thing, but it may not be. I wouldn't say intimate knowledge, but I have a good working knowledge of the information about the things that happened at Roswell and like the story behind Roswell.
Okay.
So when they come upon the crash, instead of like them just like picking shit up and handling it and just like showing us things, I can't remember if it's Seth or Kyle, but one of them picks up a piece of the ship and he's like, it's so light. It's almost like it's aluminum or like some kind
tinfoil,
of like tinfoil. Yeah, it's like some kind of foil. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's exactly what they said at Roswell. But now you're just copying it. Now you're not inspired by. Now you're just saying the direct thing. If they wouldn't have said anything about it and they would have just like observed it and like fucked around with it and shown us what they were doing, I would have been like, this is a perfect scene. No notes. It's absolutely perfect. But they're just like telling us things about it that, especially once they mention Roswell earlier in the movie with Travis, you're now thinking, okay, I am clued in. They're using Roswell as like a jump off point.
Right.
I know the information about Roswell. Cool, show it to me now. But then they show it and they're like, ooh, Roswell details. And
okay.
Like, oh, fuck. All right. Over-explained themselves, I should say.
All right. I have a note on that we're kind of split on, but that's okay. But yeah, I mean, they give you the classic. Honestly, the effects hold up. The crash sequence is great. Because watching this massive saucer crash into the forest immediately shifts the dynamic, in my opinion. Characters are not dealing with a distant threat. The threat is right there. And once the ship arrives, the movie delivers its best sequence. Not immediately. It's a little bit after the ship arrives and they're dealing with the aliens. But I wanted to talk about one specific scene because I feel like this scene is a true masterclass in film making, film editing, cinematography, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's Lex's abduction. To me, the scene is flat out phenomenal. It is pouring rain. I think it's Kyle and April. They're investigating that tree, which, by the way, is like surgically sliced. And I love that because, it's like, why is this cut so cleanly? And then it stops raining instantly. Immediately got vibes from Nope because it happens in Nope. And then Seth notices that it's still raining by the car. So he goes over to the car, and there's this great shot of Seth walking to this wall of rain. It's not raining here. It's raining over here. He sticks his hand out and is like, what the fuck is happening? And then, boom, red light floods everything, transforming the environment into the literal things of nightmares. And that visual alone, to me, is very unsettling. And for the briefest of moment, I feel this movie captures that the feeling that made Fire in the Sky so terrifying with that beam of light that hits Lex. Why Lex decides to step out of the car is fucking beyond me. My only note on this little section is her stepping out because it makes no sense. But then the beam hits her, she starts to rise, but then the camera does this just fucking beautiful thing. It starts at the ground and starts to just pan up from her feet to her face, and you have these rocks kind of spiraling around her, and she's just entranced in this beam, and then boom, she gets yoinked up to the UFO. By the way, yoink is the opposite of a yeet, but I thought that was one of the most incredible abduction sequences. Like, it was so well done. I don't know if I'm alone in that feeling. Would love your thoughts.
No, I love that they do it. They started off and it's almost made in a sense that Lex, it's like a serene experience. And she's like, she's looking up at it like it's almost a religious experience.
Yeah.
And then the soundtracking drops out and she just gets yoinked up. Like, violently, like you can tell they put a harness on her and they said, hey, this is gonna hurt. and just pulled the fucking cord and jerked her up into the sky. Now, my only thought after having seen the full movie is thinking that there is... So, this is after April has shotgunned one of them.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes. Okay. No. Yes. That happens early on.
Okay.
And there's actually a reason. So I love the reason too.
Right. So April shotguns one of these things. So we know for a fact that, well, we don't know, but after we have seen the movie, we know that one of these things at least is running around out in these woods. We also know from having seen the movie that these aliens, I'm guessing if they are in like direct line of sight, have some sort of like mind control powers. So I'm thinking that the shotgunned alien was running around. The ship was actually coming to pick up that alien, and that alien did the mind control on Lex as like a terror act, like let me do this to scare them because I want them to know they fucked up by shotgunning me.
Yeah,
maybe, but yeah, no. It's a terrifying act. Like it's such a power move on the move of the aliens, because that's kind of the moment you realize you're not gonna win. Like that was the moment where I go, okay, everybody's dying. Like if you got a name, you're dying.
Yeah, everyone's pretty fucked in this movie.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah. And something I was getting upset about slowly during that scene was, okay, red light, interesting. Usually it's white light. Why is it red? Show me the ship. Show me the ship. And it doesn't show you the ship until she gets sucked into it. And I was like, that ship is fucking incredible. It's the classic saucer, but it's got all these red lights around it, and it looks so good just hovering there. I was so impressed with the CG in this movie, probably because most of it takes place at night. The UFO, they can kind of, the aliens did not look that great at some moments. But the ship itself looks... What?
The aliens... They look like the fucking South Park aliens.
I liked the design of them, but the CG moving them around, little wonky if we're being honest. But they definitely put their budget into the UFO, and I'm okay with that, because a lot of the times some of the aliens are in the background out of focus, or that one that just fucking like sprinted past the camera and almost made me fall out of my fucking seat. But seeing the ship was incredible, hovering in the sky, because you get to see it a few times, and I'm glad that I really thought they were not going to show it in that abduction scene, and I was going to lose points for that. But the fact that they did show it above this forest, it looked so fucking good. I mean, like I said, Lex does make a terrible decision. Maybe not the worst decision, because I think that goes to Seth, but we'll get... Before we roast Seth, before we get to absolutely destroying this man, let's give the movie credit for some of the things that it does well. Something very small, right? Something that I thought is such a small moment that I felt was just a beautiful plot device is... The movie plants information about the shotgun, right? So earlier in the film, we see her video, Skyping, whatever, her father, and he's like, hey, you're going out there. I need a couple of things. I need this, my fishing rods, my drills. There's a shotgun in the basement I need. And I didn't think anything of it at first. I was just like, he needs some stuff. And then when the power goes out, they go to the basement, and I'm like, the shotgun's down there. This is beautiful. So like that little detail worked so well for me, because there's a reason for it to be down there. I mean, other than the fact that it is a cabin in the woods and you probably have one, but specifically being in the basement was set up so well that I'm like, all right, I love this. They're not just happening to come across a gun. It was set up in a very small way that it's basic screenwriting, set up, payoff. And you'd be surprised at how many movies forget to do that, but it delivers these characters a tool without, making it feel forced. And I don't know, I latched onto that for like so hard. I was like, I don't know why I love that so much, but it just made me happy that they were so detailed in some ways, and then other ways they were just so vague, like we're being very specific about this shotgun. But anyways.
And see, I liked the shotgun payoff, but at the same time, I felt like, ooh, this is just an Evil Dead reference because shotgun in a basement.
Shotgun in a basement, very much Evil Dead. There's also a lot of other Alien movies I feel it is paying homage to. Maybe people think they're ripping off. I do believe it's homage. I don't think, and I'll explain why I think it's homage, because there's a scene in the very beginning of the movie that is why I think that. But, and this is the thing that you were not keen on, the conspiracy thing, right? I think the movie introduces this idea, which is either brilliant or completely insane, depending on your perspective. You are not too keen on it. I love it. But when Travis drops the...
Well, no. No, I wasn't keen on them showing and explaining in that one section the conspiracy. The conspiracy payoff for me is what saved the movie. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It was to no work of their own. They just used something that was already like built into the story that they were trying to tell.
Okay. Gotcha.
It was not an original ending at all. They just said, "Hey, take that alien conspiracy and film it."
Okay.
So it wasn't an original work. It was built off of something else. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They got hit with the ball.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. So yeah, I got you. Okay. Because I really love that. He says Travis is a conspiracy theorist. He's out. He's out in the woods. He's growing weed. Total tangent here. He has the worst weed growing operation I've ever seen. He's got growing plants in a tent. He's got curing plants in a tent. And then he's just got fully cured bud as well. You don't fucking cure weed out in the sun. You cure it in a dark fucking room. His weed operation just pissed me off. Anyways. So the United States government, he explains, has maintained this treaty with Extraterrestrial since Roswell. I love this. It kind of reframes the situation. This is not first contact. This is not an invasion. This is diplomacy gone wrong. And these people do not realize this because they're not attacking randomly. They're responding to April, who shoots that alien and I think kills it, because later they go back and it's not in the pool anymore. So maybe it didn't get fully killed, but they wounded one.
No, because the alien that kills the cops is the alien that got shot.
Okay, so yeah, so the aliens are responding to like a violation, as April has wounded one of them. So that the treaty, quote unquote, has been broken. Now they're cleaning up the mess. I think it's a fun twist because it makes humanity feel smaller and less important. We're not dealing with this grand war. We are dealing with actions and consequences. And I really enjoyed that. It brings something from the real world into this movie. So it's not necessarily anything new, but I find it a fun point to bring in the movie because it gives reason for these aliens to actually attack rather than just abduct. So that for me worked on a plot level. And so you're okay with this part of the movie. It's just the over explanation of the craft and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. I love it. So,
yeah, because the actions and consequences is exactly what makes a movie exists work. Like Bigfoot would not be fucking with you if you hadn't have run its child over. If you don't shotgun the alien, they're not going to come after you.
That is
granted, the big hooky spooky lanky gray alien. I'm gonna shoot it too. That's why I was confused, because it says Canadian, but there's a lot of American imagery. Are they pretending they're in America?
Yeah, I don't know. Also, not a Canadian accent in sight, so I don't know.
No, not at all.
Not at all. So,
because Travis clearly says, "I'm an American. Nobody's trespassing on my land without a fight."
Right.
So it's are we border town, between Canada and America? We somewhere in Northern Oregon?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where they're supposed to be, but it definitely feels like they're supposed, especially with Travis, because he was in Vietnam from 67 to 71. He's that gun-toting American. So I feel like this has got to be set somewhere, but they don't explicitly say where. So going back to the thing I mentioned a little bit earlier about some of the homages to me, I don't know if people think that this movie's trying to rip off other Alien movies, but I did get Exists right away when you don't fuck with them, they don't fuck with you. I was like, and Exist came out in the same year, 2014, so I don't think anybody was ripping each other off. But in the opening scene, if you noticed, the victim had a last name of McPherson. This is not an accident. This is a direct nod to the McPherson tapes, which is one of the most criminally underrated alien found footage movies ever made. The abduction imagery to me, like I mentioned earlier, really vibes like Fire in the Sky. The white beam, the levitation, the sense of dread, and even the interior parts of the ship feel kind of inspired by that alien abduction scene in Fire in the Sky. The aliens themselves kind of evoke Communion from 1989, not identically, but spiritually similar. And the red lights that are bleeding through the cabin walls, it's almost impossible not to think of Close Encounters of the Third Kind when that orange light is beaming through one of the main characters' kitchens. So I don't feel like it's trying to hide its inspirations. I don't feel like it's being derivative. I feel like it's just trying to celebrate alien movies, but I can see how people are like, well, this just feels like a ripoff of this, and this. To me, I feel like they were really just trying to do homage, but that's just my own personal opinion.
And see, I guess I'm sort of in the camp of you can do homages to one or two things, but when you start having a handful of them, or it's like you're picking them out of a bowl and just putting them on the storyboard and being like, yo, we're going to use these inspirations and build something around that. That's when it's like, all right, but what are you doing?
Yeah, and that's just because I've literally watched all of these movies recently. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way in terms of the imagery and homage. It's just what I picked up on and what I related it to. It's entirely possible that, some of these are not homages outside of McPherson. That's very clear. It's not subtle. So I do like a lot of it, and unfortunately, this is where we do have to talk about Seth now, because we cannot talk about existence. I'm mashing up words. Extraterrestrial without talking about Seth. He is the human equivalent of a headache. I have never wanted anybody to be abducted by aliens faster. He is fucking exhausting. Not just because he is a bad person, but he's constantly, and this circles back to the dialogue. He is constantly saying things that the audience already knows, like he doesn't understand English or have eyeballs, because he's like, that's not an airplane. Really? The giant glowing saucer didn't make that obvious? Did I just hear a gunshot? Yes, Seth, you were literally in the next room in a cabin in the middle of the fucking woods. The audience heard it. The characters heard it. The fucking neighbors probably heard it. And then he's like, dude, that's a dead alien. Thanks, detective. Case closed. Like, his dialogue was just repeating everything that he was seeing or clarifying things, and it drove me insane, because he's not the only one that's guilty of this, because the movie really struggles with exposition. Multiple characters have this habit of describing events that we all just saw. So it's like, did they have a problem with the script? Like, it's not a deal breaker to me, but it makes the moments where the script feels less confident than its visuals. You don't have to say what you just saw. I saw it with my own, like, I have eyeballs. I'm watching the movie. So I think that's...
Or you also don't have to say what you feel. We get a whole scene.
Right.
We get a whole scene of April and what's-her-face walking through the woods with Rusty, and she's like, I don't want to be that person that just marries her high school sweetheart and blah, blah, blah. And then you get the proposal scene 4 minutes later, and we get that whole same explanation again. And I'm like, I get it. Okay, so you had a conversation with one person, And, now you have to have that similar conversation with another person. But we as an audience member don't need to watch that conversation twice.
We don't. And that's one of the other biggest issues I have with this movie is that April and Kyle, their relationship is like on life support because their relationship was doomed before the aliens arrived. You mentioned, Kyle proposes, but April rejects him. And you know what? Good for her. Not even good for her. Good for them because they don't even seem to understand each other. She doesn't believe in...
Also...
What?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
From a man's perspective, Kyle, not my Kyle, but Kyle of this movie.
Uh-huh.
How fucking tone deaf are you that your partner has invited you to come along and take photos of her childhood home that has been lost to divorce that they are now selling? How tone deaf are you to invite all of your friends to propose to that person? Like, that is not the time and not the place. Let's take your happiest memory and intertwine it forever with one of your potentially worst memories ever. That is psychopathic behavior.
Yeah, and nothing makes me cringe more in movies or social media when a man goes to propose only to be rejected. Like, how far removed from you are that relationship where you don't even know that you're on the same page with your partner? And to do it like you just described is fucking wild. And not only did he he brought his friends, to kind of make the weekend fun, but obviously told them that he was proposing because she walks out of the room and everyone's like, congratulations. Oh, he said no, fuck. Yeah, terrible tone deaf move there. That was literally one of the worst moments of the movie because they barely seem to understand each other, right? She doesn't believe in marriage. He didn't apparently know that because that comes out when they're on the porch and then the ship crashes. She also accepted a job in New York. He didn't know that either. So there's this massive disconnect between them. Like, when were you going to say you are moving? I don't even know if I can go with you. Do you want me to come with you? Oh, God, I don't think you want me to go with you. So this has been going on long before the UFO showed up, and that makes the ending feel so bizarre because Kyle gets taken, and suddenly April is like begging to go with him. Why? 5 minutes ago, the relationship was hanging together with duct tape and wishful thinking, and now you're like, oh, come back and get me. And the only speculation I have on that is that she feels terrible because she asked Kyle, are you sure you want to come with me? You really don't have to. And he said, no, I want to be there, obviously, to propose. But maybe she felt bad that the only reason he got taken is because she brought him out there. So she wants to go up onto the ship. But what the fuck is the plan there, dude? What's the plan with getting abducted here?
The whole reason that she has that flip-flop is that stupid ass hero scene where he gets him into the basement and then looks at the door about to be open and then goes and pushes the bookcase and goes, I'm full of surprise. She's like, you'll die. And he's like, I'm full of surprises.
So cheesy.
And then rushes out after the alien. So he sacrifices himself.
True.
So
okay.
She can leave. And this is what made me fucking gag at this, because I knew they were saying, if you truly love someone, you'll set them free. Fucking get out of here with that bullshit. But that's what they were saying. It was like, oh, let's write a trite sacrifice for what we are going to call character development, but it's actually just lazy writing.
It is lazy writing because then in the end, I do want to talk about the end because it's very weird. She takes the ring. She finds the ring, takes the ring out of her pocket and puts it on. I'm like, you literally just went on a thing about how you don't believe in marriage. Why are you even putting the ring on? I know you guys are both about to die, but what the fuck is the point of this? You're contradicting yourself. So it's very strange. It's a very, very strange ending sequence because it definitely goes on for way too long. I love the interior of the ship because it's a risky move. Sometimes mystery is better. Looking at you, Close Encounters, because there is a cut where they include interiors of the ship, and it's not great. That's why Steven Spielberg came out with a different cut, because he did not like that cut. And this one lands somewhere in the middle for me because the containment areas are cool. The scale is cool. The visual of the UFOs like going into these pods, it vibed way too much like The Matrix. When she had that shot of looking out, I was like,
I said out loud, this is a weird Matrix sequel.
It's a weird Matrix like universe. But I did love the idea of all these UFOs going into all of these ports and putting all these people in places and blah blah blah. But I did like the aspects of the tunnels and stuff, but then things get weird with the Matrix comparisons, and then Seth gets subject to bizarre biomechanical experimentation, which also rips off the Matrix with that like bionic bug entering his belly button. I'm like, what are we just ripping off the Matrix at this point? And then we actually get a probing scene that was so violent. I did not need to see a spinning fucking buzzsaw go into this man's asshole. It just felt forced, pun intended. Like we didn't need to see that. Typically you don't really see the
probe. Well, and so what that's actually a reference to, that's not a probe.
Oh.
So one of the things that go along with like alien flaps and whatnot,
right,
are cattle mutilations.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that people will describe with cattle mutilations is that it looks like the organs have been taken out of the cow via the ass. Like it's like they drilled the asshole out and took out all of its organs.
Oh Jesus!
Because there were no other cuts on the body, but somehow the cow has no more organs and its asshole is missing.
Okay.
So that was, but see, they didn't say anything about it.
Right.
So me knowing that information, I was like, fuck yeah, that's a deep cut right there. I like that shit.
Okay. All right, so then that's fair, but it's a very visceral, bloody scene, and good for him because he was the worst part of this movie, and when he gets abducted as well, he loses his arm because he handcuffs himself to a tree like a fucking moron, which that was the worst decision of the movie, next to Lex getting out and being tractor beamed up. But so the ending of the movie, very strange, and then, you have Alex, or April and Kyle, she finds Kyle somehow. The aliens, 3 aliens pop up and they put up their hand to do the mind control, which I'm going to get into before we end. And then they appear back down on Earth. And I thought, oh, maybe this is just, they're putting this image in their head, like, you're safe now. But then, of course, they run to the edge of the forest. They find all of these guys in biohazard suits and stuff like that. And I was like, these people are about to get fucking shot. Called it. So they get shot. This is when she puts on the ring, and it's just, this cute, heartfelt moment, like, I love you, I accept your marriage, even though I didn't believe in it. And then they get thrown into a pit and lit on fire. So I love the alien conspiracy cover-up at the end. But the thing that really irritated me is there's this guy in black smoking a cigarette, and the camera pans around to him, and I'm like, am I supposed to know this guy? It's a reference to Twilight Zone, X-Files, the smoking man from the Twilight Zone or the X-Files. It's reference to
from
that.
From the X-Files. Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was gonna wrap around to be like, oh, it's this guy. I'm like, who the fuck am I looking at here? What is this supposed to be?
No, it's another like super nerd cut.
Yeah, you really have to know.
Yeah. I knew that because I like the X-Files, but
okay.
that's a me thing.
and I just started getting into them, so I'm sure I'll see him at some point. So yeah, the ending was very strange, but at the same time, I also love the line of dialogue. He's like, wait, what's the report? Blah blah blah. He's like, we're gonna do what we always do. We clean up. So they kill everybody that's been involved in this, break of the treaty and get rid of everyone so there's no evidence of it. I really liked that part of the ending. But last thing before we end here is the mind control aspect of this movie, because it is the most underdeveloped concept in the whole story. The sheriff, the deputy, in the squad car, suddenly the aliens seem capable of direct mental control because the sheriff murders his partner, then kills himself, but then they just leave Seth in the back seat. The movie never revisits this outside of them putting their hand up to Kyle and April and putting them back down to Earth. Never explain why this matters. It's an interesting idea, but it feels so disconnected from the rest of the movie. I don't understand why it was used one time. Why haven't they been using this throughout the entire movie anytime they've ever seen anybody? Like with the scene with Travis when he's in the greenhouse, the motherfucker could have just put his hand up and shot him. Like, what happened there? I'm not understanding that part at all.
So my only thought could be it has to be in like proximity to the ship itself. Ooh. Like you got to be within a certain distance of the ship.
Okay. I'll take it. But it's just speculation, right? I mean, like, we don't know.
Yeah, pure speculation.
They don't know anything.
See, and closing thoughts for me. Sure. I wish there would have been way more of the movie on the ship. So, like, hear me out on this.
Yeah.
Rewrite the movie. Same exact plot points. But we start out with them on the ship, and it's mind control shit in their own mind that we see playing out through the siege of the house.
Okay.
And them getting out of the house is them breaking the mind control.
Okay.
And the people that don't get out of the house or the area are the people that got mind controlled and got shot. Same exact movie, switch it around a little bit, way better.
Yeah, it's
like they arrive to the house, and then all the abduction shit happens, and then the movie still plays out, but they're already on the ship. They're just being mind controlled.
They're just being mind controlled the entire time. Yeah, that would give it a little bit of an edge, I think. So, yeah. Closing thoughts for me here. Extraterrestrial is not perfect. Seth is going to test your patience. Elements of the story needed more development, and the third act, I feel, gets a little too ambitious for its own good, but I think it does deliver with fantastic UFO imagery, strong abduction sequences, some fun mythology, great homages in my opinion, and it feels like it has appreciation for classic alien horror. I don't think it's necessarily one of the most underrated alien films of the 2010s, but I do feel it's one of the most not talked about at all. So I don't know, but
underviewed but accurately rated.
Yes, there you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. I think this movie deserves more attention for the good it has, but at the same time, it does struggle in so many areas. So that is Extraterrestrial from 2014. Let's move on to the final cut here. Taglines, there's one, and I love it. They do not come in peace. Easy peasy breezy. Trivia, not much. It is a low-budget movie. But in the scene where April is speaking with her father during a Skype call on her desktop is a pirated copy of Grave Encounters 2011, the Vicious Brothers' first movie, and the Vicious Brothers being the makers of this film. That was fun. Michael Ironside came up with the idea for his character to wear a goofy shirt, and that's hilarious because I said, what the fuck is this guy doing in a duck t-shirt?
Jessica said that she very specifically wanted that shirt in Michael Ironside's size because it would be a fantastic, in her words, sleep/smoke shirt.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I love it. Shot in 21 days, which is pretty impressive. The original title was actually called The Visitors, and I think I like that more, honestly. I like The Visitors. And then The Scarecrow at the Farm, because this is hilarious, because I was like, is that Nixon? Yeah, where the girls are searching for their dog, the Scarecrow's wearing a mask of Richard Nixon. I don't know why they had to say ex-president.
And see, I thought it was Dick Cheney.
Okay. Yeah, so that's fun. Goofs here a couple things. April loads the shotgun, then snaps the barrel into place on the stock. There is then the sound of a round being chambered into the firearm, but that would not happen.
The slider.
Yeah.
Yeah, she made the slide lock like you would have for a rifle.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not big on guns, but I know that's not right.
That is not right at all, because once you snap the barrels into place, shotgun is ready to be fired. Although fallen tree is shown being down and blocking the road, it's very clear from a wide shot that the SUV the characters were in could have easily driven around the stump and back onto the road beyond the blockage. And then this is, for someone in the mortgage business, this is accurate. When April is talking to her dad via the video chat, they discuss taking photos for the realtor because the realtor charges the photos are too much. Realtors, you don't get charged for photos of taking a property when you list it. The realtor just charges a percentage, and they pay their own guy, their own person. That's petty goof, but it's like legitimate. Rated 5.0 out of 10 on IMDb. For our purposes of the Nightmare Index, it is a 2.5 out of 5. On Letterboxd, it is also a 2.5 out of 5, 28% on the tomato meter, and a 26% audience score. I genuinely don't know how to rate this movie. So what do you got for rating?
I gave it a 2.5 because the aliens and the violence and the actual extraterrestrial nature of it all was great. I really enjoyed those parts.
Okay.
But every part involving a human, especially that fucking sheriff that wanted to be Rick Grimes so hard. Like,
Yeah.
Jessica kept going, he needs a hat. He needs a hat. Every
Agreed.
character involving a human was the weakest part of this movie. But the ending, for me, they stuck the landing so hard because it was one of those nobody wins. Like, the aliens don't win because they have to fuck off and get out of there. The humans don't win because they have to clean up dead bodies, and that's just a fucking process. So it's one of those it's not bleak, but nobody wins. The bad guy doesn't win. The good guy doesn't win. It's just a moot point, and I like those type of movies.
Okay.
So it could clean up the dialogue just a scooch, 3.0. Don't kill the dog, 3.0.
Right.
But you do just enough things wrong, and you get a 2.5.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to give this a 3 then, because I gave Contamination a 2.5, and I definitely feel this is a little bit stronger than that movie. So that gives us a Nightmare Index of 2.63. So that means this is the second bottom film. Contamination being the lowest at a 2.44 out of 5. This coming in at a 2.63, and then the nesting right above it at a 2.67. So there you go. Similar movies according to IMDb: It Stains the Sands Red, Alien Abduction, Indigenous Preservation, and Der Samurai. Okay. Similar movies according to Letterboxd, we have Dreamcatcher, AVP Requiem, No One Will Save You, Total Recall, and Altered. Let's do some funny reviews and get the fuck out of here. How many do you have?
So I have 6. 2 of them I am going to list jointly.
Okay.
One of them is Eric Cloud, and one of them is just long as fuck, but I have to read the whole thing so you get the intensity of which this person is writing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So why don't you go first, and I'll, I guess, because I still got to organize mine. So hit me with your first one.
So a 1/2 star, no heart from Eidetic. Puke of shots puke together in a puke.
All right. We've got 5 stars from Just a Monkey Covering His Speak No Evil Monkey. A guy got anal probed to death. What is not 5 stars about this? So many other things, buddy. All right, what you got next?
A 1/2 star from Foxy Films. This is the long one.
Okay.
From the guys who brought Dog Shit and Dog Shit 2, The Search for More Lobotomy, we bring you Alien Dog Shit. Don't miss the epic tale of absolute painful mediocrity. If you thought the main characters from the other two movies were obnoxiously annoying, you won't be left down as they keep the trend going of having an unlikable main gang. Aliens, constant tint change, absolute horrendous line delivery, and probably the funniest ending to ever fucking exist. It's Alien Dog Shit.
That is a 10 out of 10 review right there. I've got a couple more here. 3 stars from Brad Hansen. Can there honestly be that much vital information up our buttholes? I agree. I mean, what's going on up there? All right, next.
A 5-star and a heart from, or no, a 5-star, no heart from Prismo. Who else getting anal probed to death?
I think that might have been the first anal probing to death in film. I included this one because it doesn't make any sense, and I have questions. 2.5 stars, no heart from Jasmine. When I say I want an alien movie, this is exactly what I mean. Jordan Peele, take note. You gave it a 2.5 with no heart. What the fuck did you give Nope? Like, why?
And Jordan Peele did take note and then made Nope, and it was one of the best alien movies of all time.
Of all time, agreed. All right. You got an Eric Cloud special?
Not yet.
Okay.
Eric Cloud special is the final one.
All right.
So these are the two that I'm going to mix together because I'm going to read them one after the other.
Gotcha.
This person has no name. It's an emoji, but it's the Speak No Evil little monkey emoji.
Oh, that's the one I just read.
No.
Are you sure?
Not.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. So a 5-star and a heart, watched February 9th, 2022. It was a very bad movie, but I liked it. Seth deserved to get anal probed to death. Following the same guy, 5-star and a heart, rewatched March 5th, 2022. So literally like a month later, this movie fucking sucks. 5 stars. And then he's got like 14 wounded heart emoji.
That's so weird. How the hell did we both have a user that was a Speak No Evil monkey? That's so weird.
Is his profile like some slightly muscle man with text under it?
Let me see, because that is, if they're different people, that is fucking wild. All right, Monkey Man, where'd you go? Monkey Man, a muscle man?
Yeah, with like a red door behind him.
What the fuck? So how many times has he watched this movie? What the fuck? He has watched it 3 different times and reviewed 3. That's amazing. All right. I love it. All right, my last one. 1.5 stars from Silent Luminary. I was severely disappointed when the guy in the mask turned out to be Michael Ironside and not Danny DeVito. What? What?
And then a 3-star and a heart from Eric, or 3.5 star and a heart from Eric Cloud.
All right.
Much better than expected. Has a unique and well-balanced, mean-spirited sense of humor without being a comedy.
Okay. All right. So 2.5 from you, 3 from me, 3.5 from Eric Cloud. We're all there with the average.
Trending upwards.
Yeah, trending upwards. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher, Threads, and YouTube at Frightmares Podcast. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. You can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor, all one word. You are
Frightmares Cory.
Booyah. If you'd like to expand your movie podcast listening, be sure to check out the Shameless Picture Show, the Dead-Eyed Millennial Film Club, and 1 Week Rental as well. Next week / next month begins Kaijun Destroy, and Michael and I will be doing Godzilla from 1954 as our essential pick, which is streaming on HBO Max. Look at me go, picking movies that are streaming. I am very excited. Next month isn't necessarily going to be all horror movies, but I could not let the pun of Kaijun not happen. So
it's too perfect.
It's too perfect. So until then, guys, stay tuned and
stay spooky.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description.